Okay, so I'm going to cover phobia today. What is phobia? Phobia is a fear. What are people afraid of? People are afraid of unknown. People tend to be afraid of things they don't understand, or outcomes that are potentially, could go either way. When I was growing up, being homophobic was something we were sort of taught. Don't be gay. And it wasn't a society where being openly gay was popular. Joining the military, there was the don't ask, don't tell policy, and that's obviously way gone. Not that I have a problem with it at all, I don't. But my point is that this is just the same problem as the racism thing. You got generations of people, like Joe Biden, for example, has lived in a time period where he was racist, 100%. He has lived in a time where he said something racist. I don't know when, I don't know where. It's not my job to look that stuff up. And I don't have a problem with Joe Biden, really, either. So, that have a problem with the law that he broke. But, last thing I want is to be destroyed by the presidential administration that's going to court, Last thing I need is to be discredited by someone who has lived his whole life and has nothing to lose but his own life. So, I appreciate you running the country, but now back to the fear. So, people are scared of spiders. Elephants are scared of mice. Why are elephants scared of mice? Makes no sense. They could stomp them. Why are we scared of spiders? We know they bite. Maybe elephants get bit by mice. Maybe that's... And spiders are pretty gross looking, But that being said, when we're talking about human beings, explaining someone as gross looking is fucking mean and awful. So, the polite thing to do would be to play along, sure. Play along and give them their gender affirmation. But, the whole phobic term, I'm just trying to shed a light on it that's a little more lenient on the people who are scared. What they're scared of is the lacking of, known result from this. We don't know the science on this. We don't know why this is happening exactly right now, and we don't support unknown stuff, and sometimes that's scary, like for example, the war in Ukraine and Israel. Like, people are scared of that. They have a phobia of that because nobody knows if it's going to lead to World War III. Same as, people are scared that that trans people will, make a bigger influence on kids who would otherwise not want to cut their penis off and be a woman. And men are valuable. They're not just evil, doers who run the systems and oppress the peoples. Like, men are valuable. They're honorable sometimes, integral. There's a lot of great things that men are just overlooked for. I just had to have a conversation with, one of my family members about how my brother's 100-pound wife is not a good comparison on what I've been through in life and what she's been through, and like how, it's just, to me, it's not that you can't compare a woman to a man. You can. There's women that have outworked me, outsmarted me, outdone everything I've done. They're more honorable, more integral, probably better looking, sure, like more rich, whatever you want to say. that exists. There's women who do it to the fullest, and there's not a problem with that. But to ignore the fact that women statistically are, less laborious, less less willing to do hard work, I'm sorry, but that is true. And women are just as smart, if not smarter than men, or they used to be, at least. I don't know anymore, but since that's a fact, they do end up in industries where it's very impressive and their work's hard and they had to go to school a long time. But pretty much what it comes down to is that men don't want to cry about it, but we are doing all the hard work. And it's been that way for a long time. And so I'll be the first, maybe the last, I don't know. I'll be one of the guys to step up and say, I've had enough of working my back into the ground, and I've had enough of, being fed propaganda to go into wars. I've had enough of, presidents going to court. I've had enough of racism being prevalent when it's obviously not, And yeah, people get stuff from playing a game, that think about the game you're playing. When you instill fear in people, that causes death at the other side of things, whether you like it or not. Fear causes, violence eventually. So that's the idea of, don't be transphobic, because you don't need to kill men that are dressing up like women. But is it okay to be a little scared of the unknown with what's going on with trans people? I would say yes. I'm a little scared myself. Doesn't mean that that I disagree with everything a trans person says. No, not at all. Or I just, obviously my point's been clear on this. I just think that when we're doing something so significant, that it should be started with, trials and studies. And that's probably what people are doing now. Given the recent Joe Rogan episode about how corrupt Big Pharma is, it's like, why even listen to the testing and stuff if people are just going to play it towards one way or another? I don't know. How much human death is acceptable and who's making those calls, That scares me. Let the men dress up like women, and if the science dictates that, cutting off their penis is what needs to happen, then let them do it. But I mean, how is it surprising that men are scared of that? That's terrifying. That's a terrifying thing to do to somebody. And I would hate to be the recipient of said procedure, The suicide rates with post-op trans is not a fictional existence. And it's not just because of trans hate. It's because some of those were mistakes. So before you make a mistake like that for attention, for clout, for, say you're gay and you just want to be gay, but you'd rather be a woman so you can get a cuter man, just be gay. For real. You could just be gay. And I don't know how other people feel, maybe people do like chicks with dicks or whatever. But from my perspective, science should prevail. I have faith that this will all get resolved. And I choose not to fear it anymore. I choose not to fear transgender people or gay people. Really what I'm scared of most is rape And I have a weird story with that, so I'm not going to tell it because it's fucked up, but when you experience certain things, it almost becomes like a karmic thing, you know, like a negative nostalgic thing, that the men that like to bang men are kind of rapey sometimes, and women can agree with that. So men that like to bang women are kind of rapey sometimes. One of my ex-girlfriends wouldn't even like drive an Uber alone with a man, so yeah, I think that's a bit extensive, but still, you know,